Hello my friends, Boomy here once again with another video for you, my Swtor brothers and sisters. How's everyone doing today in a galaxy far, far, far away? If this is your first time on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button for all your Swtor fun news, guides, and updates right here, right now. Hello my friends, we are back again with another video for you wonderful people. That's right. Yeah, so have you guys wondered what year does Onslaught take place in? And for that matter, when it comes to the timeline of Swtor in general, what's going on? Well, someone asked that question, and they wanted to know what year that we, right now, Swtor is currently in this latest expansion pack. And Charles Boyd has come out of the woodwork to tell us what year it is. So this is pretty lengthy, so let's get right into it, and then we will discuss, which I like the whole timeline thing. This definitely goes back into my whole as to why I prefer Swtor and its lore and everything about it more than I prefer any of the movies. I love the first three, or the middle three. The first three, I don't even want to talk about the last ones. But okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk about and see what Charles Boyd has to say. Charles Boyd says, "Hello, folks. Apologies for not getting in here sooner. Before we delve into the topic, I think it's important to reiterate what some of y'all have, remember, he's from Texas, have already pointed out. Star Wars is rarely, if ever, specific about the passage of time. In many cases, stories don't even mention it, and even if they do, it's generally very vague. As a result, it's pretty common for timelines to be assigned retroactively in later reference material rather than the stories themselves. With all that being said, the passion that role players, fan artists, and writers bring to Swtor is one of the coolest things about this project, and timelines are super helpful in weaving your own works through the greater narrative. So, while we'll never get super specific on time, we can certainly work out the current in-game year and at least put things in a relative order and proximity to each other time, or time-wise. But before we do that, two upfront caveats. One, remembering dates never went well for me in history class. Plus, working on the game so long, I have every different version of everything we ever considered somewhere in my head. So I'm very much capable of error. No, you're not, Charles. Yes, you are. Number two, everywhere I look online, I see the Battle of Ilum End of Class Story Chapter 3's from launch listed as being 12 ATC or after the Treaty of Coruscant, or 3641 BBY, which is before the Battle of Yavin. This appears to me to conflict with the official Swtor encyclopedia, which places a resumption of war, and thus the beginning of the class chapters 3s, in around 13 ATC, or after the Treaty of Coruscant. I'm going to go with the encyclopedia date below, but feel free to let me know if there is another source somewhere in-game or elsewhere that specifies the 12 ATC date for Ilum and causes this apparent conflict. With the above in mind, everyone got the notes? Good. With the above in mind, I would say Onslaught takes place near the end of 26 ATC. Here's how I get to that number. Class stories begin at 10 ATC. Given that Ilum date from the encyclopedia combined with the generally acknowledged class stories collectively occur over the course of about 3 years, I'm going to say that Swtor begins near the end of 10 ATC, and that the Battle of Ilum occurs near the end of 1013 ATC. I like to have the in-game years roughly match in real-life years, as it makes keeping track much simpler, and is generally, though not always, in keeping with the intent of the content flow as written. So if Ilum is near the end of 13 ATC, that lines up nicely with the launch of Swtor being near the end of 2011 in real life. Following these premises, we get the general flow of events and years I've outlined below. Note that I consider this a rough draft for a more official release for the future, so stuff might change or get a bit more detailed later. But for now, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts so far in giving everyone something tentative to work from until that more official, quotes, piece can be hashed out and correct venue for it identified, in-game somehow, or our website picture of me looking crazy in front of a crazy dry erase board drawing it, all of it. I would totally go for that one. In any event, I think a visual representation will certainly be preferable down the road. Hey, I would totally buy this if they had it framed I think if they had a fracking store, which I wish they had a store, and they had this sucker framed and put it up for like, I don't know, $150, I would totally buy it. Just saying. Hang on to your beards, my friends. Here we go. Battle of Elam, or the conclusion of a class storylines, occurs at the end of 13 ATC. Black Hole, Terror from Beyond, Section 10, and everything else released in 2012, IRL, occurs in 14 ATC. Rise of the Hutt Cartel occurs in early mid-15 ATC, and Oricron in the latter half of that year. Tython, Korriban Invasion in early mid-16 ATC, and Shadow Revan near the end of that year. Ziost, can I just say that our characters have really never had a break? I mean, this is just like year after year. There's just something going on. Oh, good lord. Okay, Ziost is early middle 17 ATC, followed within a few months by the events of Sacrifice and the first chapter of Kot Fe, Part 1. Carbonite Nap from middle end of 17 ATC until late 22 ATC. Yeah, there you go. The events of Coffee, Chapter 9, and first wave of Alliance alerts takes us into the beginning of the 23 ATC, followed by the rest of Coffee and Kotet by the middle or end of that year. The Battle of Iocath is in the first half of 24 ATC, while Umbara and Campero occur, I can never say that word right, in the latter half of that year. The Anathema Conspiracy is wrapped up in early 25 ATC, with the attack on Osis occurring near the end of that year and kicking off the renewed war between the Republic and the Sith Empire. Hearts and Minds follows a few months later, in early mid-26 ATC, with Onslaught in the latter half of the same year. Task at hand is at the very beginning of 27 ATC. Although our next story release will be following it by several months in real life, it will be intended to occur within a couple weeks of Task at Hand. More of a shift than I would normally like, but real life has intervened, as we all know. Hope this is helpful, and again, let me know if y'all find any specific callouts for years that I am missing, particularly around the end of Class Stories Battle of Elam time frame. So there you have it, my friends. We have now a set of dates and times as to when everything in Swtor practically has happened. This is more of a Cliff Notes version, kind of like a little overview of things. I mean, sure, they can literally get down to the nit and grit, and like I said earlier, if they would just have a giant portrait framed, I would buy it, that had the exact timeline on everything on it. I would be all for that, let me tell you. So pretty much from chapter 1 or your prologue, you're starting in 10 ATC. So 17 years later, wham bam, thank you ma'am, we're here, or 16, 17, whatever, years later, we're here, Onslaught, task at hand, yada, yada, yada. That is where we are right now. So if you think about it, it's been about 17 years for your character, and within that 17 years, a lot has happened. I mean, they have really not had much of a chance to take a break. It has been crazy for your character, for these tunes. So yeah, they need a vacation is pretty much what's happening. I would go for an expansion or a DLC where it's just them maybe relaxing on Rishi, sipping a Mai Tai, and just, you know, relax. You just do relaxing things, picking herbs in your Sith Garden of Wonder, or, you know, moving stones around in a meditation temple for you pub people. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think that'd be fun. But yeah. So my friends, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you know? What do you think about all this? Like, what is it? Does it not blow your mind that in your character's years or lifespan, it's been 17, 16 years, and a lot has been going on. They've been very busy. Let me know your thoughts on all those things. Also, make sure you hit that like button, hit the share button, and make sure, of course, comment in the comment section below, because all that helps this channel out. It lets the algorithm for YouTube like us more and puts us way up to the front of the line, especially now that we are getting even closer to 4,000 family members. That is crazy. That is crazy. And good segue. And if you want to become, want to hit that subscribe button, go ahead, become part of the family here at Boomy Nation, the freak show of YouTube, the black sheep of gaming. And as always, my friends, remember to be kind. It's about community, and don't forget to spay and neuter your Wookiees. And we'll see you later, my friends. Good day.